All right, boys, this is going to be a long video, so make sure to grab your popcorn, sit in your seat, and get ready because this one is going to be a fun one. Microsoft is expecting to lay off up to 9,000 employees, including Xbox staff. Now, last we heard, Microsoft had laid off a few thousand employees before, and most of it didn't really have to do with Xbox. Only some of it did. So a lot of people thought that Xbox was going to be spared from the layoffs, but little did we know that is not the case at all. And I have multiple studios that are being affected, multiple video games being canceled, some of them even high profile video games that we're going to talk about in this video. So buckle up. It is quite the ride. A new report has outlined that Microsoft is expected to lay off less than 4% of its workforce. Now, you're probably thinking 4%, gee, that's not a lot. But in actuality, it is. That is 9,000 employees. This is a company that has over 200,000 plus employees. It is the richest company in the world, and even the richest company in the world has to get rid of all this bloat that they have because they're clearly not doing very well in certain sectors, namely Xbox. So 9,000 employees are going to be laid off. This would include staff from Microsoft's gaming division. The news comes following weeks of rumors and speculation, which by all accounts were described as a potential bloodbath. That's how bad it was. People were panicking. I remember I covered this a couple of days ago. In a new report from Variety, it's been claimed that the number of those affected is under 4% of Microsoft's total workforce, which currently stands at 228,000 employees. In short, that means that around 9,000 people will be laid off. The layoffs include Microsoft's gaming division, Xbox, in which we publish Phil Spencer's memo to the staff here. And let's read this memo, and then we're going to go over some high-profile cancellations that are coming from this and how many studios are actually being affected. So Phil said, I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. The success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we made previously. We must make choices now for continued success in future years, and a key part of that strategy is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. We will protect what is thriving and concentrate effort on areas with the greatest potential while delivering on the expectations the company has for our business. This focused approach means we can deliver exceptional games and experiences for players for generations to come, he said. So I do find it ironic that he has to hit it basically on the head and say, hey, we are making the most money that we ever made, lately, but we're still going to fire you guys because at the end of the day, the dollar amount might be higher, but the unit sales are lower, right? Inflation is going to make things look like the numbers are higher from the dollar amount perspective. But when you look at the amount of copies sold, it is way down. And a lot of that has to do with the simple fact is they're not putting out bangers. They do have some good games, obviously, but they have some really bad games as well. They funded some projects that are highly questionable. I'm looking at you, South to Midnight. There's some highly questionable projects that Xbox has pushed out and spent a lot of money on. On top of that, they will take those projects that are highly questionable, that they put a lot of money into, and they'll release them day one on Game Pass, ensuring that 98% of the people that play it are going to rent it, and they're never going to buy it, right? There are some games that show up on Game Pass that get purchased no matter what because people have an interest in keeping the game. But unfortunately, a lot of games that go on Game Pass, it's not exactly what happens, right? A lot of games that go on Game Pass, they go there to stay on Game Pass and ensure that that's really the only players they're going to get. But there are some successful Game Pass games. I'm looking at you, Expedition 33. I'm looking at you, Oblivion Remastered, right? I'm looking at you, freaking Stalker 2. There's a lot of games that are like that. But today's announcement marks the fourth round of layoffs at Microsoft and Xbox in just the last 2 years alone. And keep in mind, this happened after Microsoft officially purchased Activision Blizzard for the total amount of $68.7 billion. Billion with a B. $68.7 billion they bought Activision Blizzard for. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Hypnotic, who got fired? What got canceled? Give me the news. Okay, well, we got the first one. High Moon Studios affected by Xbox layoffs. High Moon Studios, a developer assisting with development on Call of Duty Warzone and other projects, has been affected by the latest Xbox layoffs. Charlie Intel was the first to report on the layoffs on social media. Unbelievable. This is the big one, right? Perfect Dark. You guys remember Perfect Dark? The modernity chin that everybody loved to talk about from the trailer? Once she showed up in the trailer, people were like, wow, you got whiter. Perfect Dark has been canceled. The initiative has been shut down, and Xbox is no longer working with Crystal Dynamics. In all intents and purposes, in my opinion, I feel like Perfect Dark got saved. I feel like Perfect Dark got completely saved by not being remade for modern audiences. I'm actually kind of happy they canceled Perfect Dark, in my opinion. I know some people are out there that might not agree with that. Maybe they really wanted to see a modern Perfect Dark, but I didn't want to see the version they were working on, because if you guys remember that trailer, it was looking a little bit rough. Perfect Dark has been canceled. Its developer, the initiative, has been closed, and Xbox is no longer working with Crystal Dynamics. Multiple sources have confirmed to Insider Gaming that the reboot of Perfect Dark has been canceled as part of the latest round of Xbox layoffs. In addition to the game's cancellation, Microsoft and Xbox have ended their partnership with developer Crystal Dynamics on any projects. Now, keep in mind, it's actually pretty interesting to see that go down, because Crystal Dynamics is a super woke company, right? I find it interesting that they actually canceled any and all projects with the company from here on out, because Xbox is also, or I should say, Microsoft is also super woke as well. I don't know. I thought Crystal Dynamics would be a really good match for them in terms of, developers with this particular company having the same ideology, but it seems like they completely canceled everything with them. In addition to the partnership ending, the game's primary first-party developer, The Initiative, is being shut down as well. Insider Gaming's Mike Straw had heard of the studio being at risk of closure, but couldn't confirm the information. Windows Central's Jez Corden was first to confirm the studio's shutdown. In addition to the closure confirmation, Corden received the memo from Xbox's Matt Booty. Booty, seriously?
Stop it. Get some help.
As part of this, we are closing one of our studios, The Initiative, Booty said. These decisions, along with other changes across our teams, reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities and focus resources to set up our teams for greater success within a changing industry landscape. We did not make these choices lightly, as each project and team represent years of effort, imagination, and commitment. And of course, one of the most amazing things about all of this is that while they are firing 9,000 people, apparently all 9,000 of these people are highly skilled developers that did nothing wrong, that are amazing at their job, and that they weren't fired based off their work. It's like, you guys make up the same excuse all the time, and yet you somehow decided these 9,000 people. It didn't just happen at a draw. You decided these 9,000 people for a reason, but toxic positivity has to rear its ugly head. So Perfect Dark is one of the biggest announcements in terms of shutdowns, because the studio closed down and the game got canceled. We got another one. Turn 10 Studios loses nearly half of its staff. Turn 10 Studios appears to be one of the biggest developers hit by the latest round of mass layoffs at Xbox and Microsoft. Insider Gaming, Mike Straw reported earlier on Wednesday that Turn 10 was set to be hit. It has now been reported by Jason Schreier that nearly half of the studio is being let go. One source who spoke about what was happening at Turn 10 said that the company was decimated and that it's unclear where things go from here, especially with what's currently in development. When asked about what area the studio was hit the most, the same source said everywhere. So they're out here, bro. This is the reckoning, right? This is the reckoning that has been coming for the gaming industry ever since 2020. I want to make that very clear. This is the reckoning. This is what we mean when we say it's only a matter of time before all that amazing activism that you guys have been doing for years is going to catch up with you. It's only a matter of time. You got. That's basically it. And now they're coming for you. They're coming for that booty hole. They're coming for that job. You guys are absolutely getting got right now. And it's a beautiful thing. Exactly. You reap what you sow. For clarification, Turn 10 Studios is behind the Forza Motorsport series. The Forza Horizon franchise, which has its next title well in development, is handled by Playground Games. So again, yeah, that's actually a great way to put it. This is the Ragnarok of the gaming industry. That's what this is. We are experiencing Ragnarok in 2025, 5 years after DEI took its foothold permanently in the gaming industry. This is Ragnarok, and it's everywhere. And like we said earlier, multiple Call of Duty studios are being hit by layoffs from Xbox as well. It just keeps getting worse, man. They confirmed that at least Raven Software and Sledgehammer have also been impacted by layoffs. As of publishing, an actual number of what specific areas of studios are unknown. So Raven Software and Sledgehammer have been impacted as well. Then you got ZeniMax. ZeniMax's online MMORPG has also been canceled because of the Xbox layoffs. The in-development MMORPG at ZeniMax Online Studios, codenamed Project Blackbird, is now Project No Bird because it's been canceled due to layoffs across Xbox by Microsoft. This news came from Jason Schreier of Bloomberg. The new MMORPG, maker of Elder Scrolls Online, has been canceled as part of the Xbox layoff, sources tell Bloomberg. The project, codenamed Blackbird, had been in development since 2018. So that is another game being canceled. And chances are they're probably going to experience some layoffs, most likely, from this nonsense. We got another one. We got Rare's Everwild being canceled among the Xbox layoffs. Everwild, an in-development action-adventure game from Rare, has been canceled. Reported by Jason Schreier, the decision to cancel Everwild comes from Microsoft letting go of 9,000 people. That includes a number across Xbox gaming division. As of writing, it's unknown exactly how many people at Rare are set to lose their jobs. However, sources tell Insider Gaming that a number of studios under Xbox, the changes are significant. So, guys, after all of this, and the crazy thing is there's more. There's more. I couldn't even get to everything in this video because it's already going to be a long enough video as it is. But at this point, we are experiencing the Ragnarok of the gaming industry, especially when it comes to Xbox. All those talks about Xbox Game Pass being ultra profitable, saving the company, it very clearly didn't do a damn thing. It might have put a ton of money in the CEO's pocket. It might have put a ton of money in the executive's pocket. But when it comes down to the company as a whole, they still fired almost 9,000 people, even with Game Pass doing what it's doing. So it makes you wonder, are they really successful? Or is this just all a facade to convince you to join that glorious Game Pass for fear of missing out? You guys can let me know in the comments down below. What do you think is going on here? Is Xbox experiencing Ragnarok? Or at this point, is this just inevitable in general? And it's not even just Xbox related. And this is going to happen to the entire gaming industry this year. I mean, to be fair, it pretty much already has been. But you guys can let me know what you think about this entire situation in the comments down below of this video. And if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you watching. And we'll see you guys on the next one.